What is up, everybody? Jago here today. First of all, I want to apologize if there's a lot of echo. Normally, I record my videos outside, which I do prefer, but today I was just like, let me make one inside my house. So, I want to talk about how I changed as a father between the first year of my daughter's life to the second year. Sorry, from 0 to a year, from a year to 2 years and 3 months now. 3.5 months, my daughter is. So, when my daughter was born, first of all, if you don't take parenting classes, you're in for a treat. And that's something I do recommend for anybody who wants to have a child, is not only take parenting classes, but fully dive into somebody that has a toddler or an infant, and help take responsibility for that toddler or infant as it's your own, giving you some experience. Fortunately, I was with a woman that already had 2 children, so I felt that she would be able to handle a lot of the load with a baby. But also, she hasn't had a child in over a decade, or about a decade. So that being said, a lot of stuff is forgotten, but my presumption was motherly instincts kick in. So the first 12 months of my daughter's life, it sucks because my mother of my daughter says I was not involved, that I was a bad father and all this other stuff. Now, would I say I was the best father or a great father? Not necessarily, but I also was taking care of a household, protecting her children, making sure her kids are okay, doing my best to make sure she was okay, even though she wasn't and never spoke up about it. And I did spend time with my daughter. It just wasn't a lot of one-on-one quality time. And that's not something you really can do when the mother isn't working and in the household 24 hours a day. It's not like she was like, hey, can you watch the baby? I have to do X, Y, and Z. That wasn't really the case scenario. So that being said, the first 12 months of my daughter's life, I changed only a handful of diapers, fed her only a handful of times, gave her milk a handful of times, but I was always there to assist, whether it was trying to, what's the word for it? Trying to get her mind off while her mom was changing her diaper, or taking the diaper to the trash, or bringing over the wipes. Whatever I was needed for, I did. And whatever I was asked to do, I also did. But I have this mentality you know what? Her mom's there. Her mom's not really doing anything for her other kids. Her mom's not really working or have a job. Why can't she be the one to do all these things? And if she did need a break, or she was tired, or she was exhausted, her mindset was, I need to read her mind. And realistically, when you have a child, it's not I couldn't sense oh my God, I'm tired, I need him. I didn't sense that. So if I did, I would have stepped up more. But her whole notion was, I shouldn't have to ask for help with your daughter. Which, if you need help, you ask for help. Doesn't matter if it's a child, yourself, whatever. Ayúdame. Ask for help. It's okay. So that first year was very difficult for me, because I also felt this little bit of a male postpartum depression, meaning I felt a little bit of a disconnect from my daughter, because my daughter didn't want me. My daughter didn't need me. She wanted her mom. She asked for her mom. She wanted milk. She wanted boobies. Those are the things she wanted. She didn't want or need her dad, where now she's 2 years and 3 months and she wants and needs her dad. So about around when my daughter was 1 year old, for her birthday, me and her mom have officially split and broken up. And we ended up staying and living together from December until April, being in the same bed, sleeping in the same room, having our daughter between us in the bed. And we were not intimate whatsoever until that house sold in Texas so we can so we can go back to Florida. Originally, she was going to leave me and go back to Florida with our daughter, and I put my foot down. I said, that's not going to happen. Be patient. Wait. Like I said, if you want to leave with your kids, that's on you. You're not taking my daughter back to Florida until this house sells. And that was it. There was nothing around it. That was the ultimatum. So get back here. I get my own house, plenty of room for my daughter. And I realized what it took to be a good father, to be a great father. And I stepped up. And you know why I stepped up? Primarily because I had no one or have no one else to help me. My parents don't help out with my daughter. My sister doesn't help out with my daughter. Nobody helps me with my daughter. I help out with my daughter. And now I, change my daughter. I dress my daughter. I shower my daughter. I take her to school. I pick her up from school. I put her to bed. I cook for her. I feed her. I read to her. I do everything for her when I have her. I'm not saying her mom doesn't do anything. That's not what I'm saying. And then I realized, that's what I have to do. And I tell her mother, I'm like, listen, I don't complain when I have to change a poopy diaper. I don't complain when I have to change a diaper or do whatever. Because I realized that there's nobody else there to help me. This created a better father for me. And this is a good, I'm not saying that people in healthy relationships should do this, but it made me become a better father or great father. And it gave me a better bond with my daughter that I don't know how long it would take to build that bond if we were together. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing we're not together. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the bond grew quicker, faster, and stronger, and me becoming a better, greater father happened a lot sooner. So that's also good. And now when I take my daughter to her mom's house and I drop her off, she cries for me. And it means the world to me that she cries for me, and it hurts me, but it also makes me happy because it makes me realize how much I'm wanted. And I just have the best relationship with my daughter right now, and I value it so much. And even though I'm, with somebody right now, and my ex-partner isn't, when the time comes that my ex needs a man, which she did have a boyfriend, but it didn't last long, it's going to be hard on me. And it's not going to be hard on me because I'm jealous. It's not going to be hard on me because I want to be with my ex. It's hard on me because of who my ex is and her circumstances versus the type of man that she can get. And I'm not going to talk about her history and all this other stuff, but she has multiple kids. She also says she wants a man in her life, not her children's life, or to tell her kids what to do. So the question is, what kind of man is she going to attract? And that is what scares the living crap out of me as a father, because I do not want a man that's not my daughter's father to put hands on my daughter in any way, shape, or form. High five my daughter, whatever. Do not grab my daughter. Do not do things to my daughter. And when we were in Texas and we were talking about seeing other people, she was like, oh, if you meet a woman, I want to meet her right away. I want her to know that she doesn't need a mother. I'm her mother and all this other stuff. And I said, well, if you meet a guy, I would like to meet him and have a respectful conversation with him. This scenario has changed countless of times on her end. And my scenario on my end has stayed the exact same. And there was a time where I went to her house to drop off my daughter, and there's a guy sleeping over her house. And I was just like, I'm not dropping off my daughter. And she was like, well, you didn't tell me you were coming, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. I'm like, it's the time that I come. I don't have to tell you I'm coming. And not only that, I did, and the text didn't go through on your end, so that's not my fault. So that was a situation there. But she's mentioned to me multiple times, like, hey, I don't want to meet a girl that you're with until you're dating her at least 3 months. Now it's like, I don't want to meet a woman that you're with until you're married because you've been through so many women. So it's just one thing after another. And, I'm at the point where I'm working on trying to get my ex to meet my partner, but I've been putting it off because I'm waiting to know my partner and to be with my partner for a certain amount of time to make sure that's the person I want to be with, because I'm not going to introduce my ex to a person if I don't know if I want to be with that person. So that wouldn't be the best idea. Unfortunately, my mother and my daughter isn't the most mature person, and originally was like, I'm not going to respect her. I'm going to tell her all this stuff about you. Just like she said to my daughter, she's going to say all this stuff about me. So, and the hardest part is my partner barely speaks English and speaks a bunch of Spanish, and my ex speaks Spanish, so God knows what she's going to tell her in Spanish. And so that's that scenario. Luckily, the person that I'm associating with is very low tempered and doesn't like arguments and fighting. And then another thing is she's like, well, she doesn't need another mother. But realistically, I need help with my daughter when my daughter's here. Just because you don't need help doesn't mean that I don't need help. So yes, she will not be her mother, but she may be her stepmother one day, and you have to realize she's going to help out. The biggest thing about my ex that bothers me is she thinks that a woman that I'm with is just as inclined to do something to a random little toddler girl than a man that she's with would do to a little toddler girl. And that just like irks me. And statistics and everything show that's not true. That is not true at all. A random man, especially a man that you will pull in, is more likely to do something than a woman that I'm with that I would pull in. So that's my video. Yep, continuously trying to be the best dad I can be every single day. A lot of people are like, I get into my videos that I'm doing and stuff like that, and like, yes, that's what makes money, but my daughter comes first. And yes, that's for my daughter, where a lot of people support people that have drug problems, gambling, whatever, and all my money goes to my home and my daughter. So know that if you're supporting me, you're supporting my beautiful child. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe, share, like this video, and I hope y'all all have a blessed day. Take care.